welcome to episode 13. Some may argue unlucky 13, but hopefully not so badly for us. Today, guys, girls, ladies, gents, we're going to be looking at one of my personal favorites. And there's a reason why I'm wearing the high-vis today, which will become apparent. But again, if you recognize me from my socials with this high-vis on or with other high-vis, let me know in the comments below that you actually think I'm fully dressed for a change, because usually without this high-vis, people say, oh, you're not dressed. So anyway, today, what we're going to be talking about for the money-saving expert tip. So this is money-saving expert tip number 13. Local tourist attractions in your area, they very often put special coupon days out for when things are going to be a bit slow for them. So like Alton Towers near Birmingham will have a coupon day for nearby residents, or they'll give them half-price passes and things like this. You can utilize those things to save yourselves a bit of money if you go and actually ask the attractions themselves. So do you do anything for local residents? Are there any coupon days for local residents that I can get access to? And you'll be very surprised at how many say yes. So please use that money-saving tip in your local area. And when I say local, I don't just mean sort of right next door. It could be sort of a 20-mile radius. I am fortunate enough to live in Wirral. Now, the local authority in Wirral are not great. Sorry, Wirral Borough Council, you're awful. However, when we look at our neighbours in Liverpool City region, they've got tons of tourist attractions and tons of activities that if you're a member of that local community of over 1 million people, that local, then they will obviously give you discounts. Even things like I can use the Mersey Tunnel for a discounted rate because I'm a resident in the Liverpool City region. So, things like that. Now, the reason why you're really tuned in, the money-making stuff. I love this one because I've tried it myself and I absolutely love this particular piece of advice. So, why, instead of spending money on local tourist attractions, why don't you become an expert local tourist guide? And you think, well, that's really difficult. I can't do that. No, it's really, really easy. Imagine you got 20 German cyclists who are all epic fans of the Beatles, Love Me Do and the silly haircuts and all the rest of it, John Lennon. Obviously, I'm from the Liverpool area, from Wirral, and the Beatles, huge monument all around the world to rock and roll and popular culture and music and so on and so forth. We got John Lennon Airport. We got the Beatles story. But what we don't have when we go to Liverpool is a great view of Liverpool. If you come to Liverpool and look along the Albert Dock, you will actually see the Wirral. Okay? The Wirral is not a place you want to be looking at when you've just spent a fortune flying to Liverpool. However, if you become an expert tour guide in Wirral, you can take people around the Wirral area and you can take them to all the points where you can see Liverpool, and you can see that beautiful Liverpool skyline. You can see the Three Graces. You can see ferry crossing the Mersey. You can see the lovely arena that they've built, the ports. It's absolutely breathtaking. And the reason why this is important is because there is a platform called Eventbrite. I'll say that again. Eventbrite, all one word, look it up. It's a little white E on an orange logo. Really cool website. If you don't already know what it is, join it. It's brilliant. You can set yourself up as a seller on Eventbrite and you can sell anything that is an event. So you can become a local tour guide operating as touring the area. And you say, well, Carl, I'm not based in Wirral. I can't do that, mate. Well, that's fine. But you know what? All over the UK, all over the world, there are monuments, there are attractions everywhere. So when I went to Indonesia recently, I went and did some wreck diving. When I was in Turkey, I went on a cruise to see some waterfalls. When I was in, where was I? I was in Thailand. I went to Phuket and I seen the Buddhist temple up the mountain. There's tons of things you can go and see as people are interested in cathedrals, churches, museums, football teams. You can go and do a tour of Anfield. You can go and do a tour of the Etihad Stadium in Manchester if you really don't mind looking at football. There's tons of stuff you can do all over the UK, all over the world. You can say, look, I'm going to do a tour of this region and you're going to get to see this, 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 and this. And it's £15 a ticket. Start small. And you can book 25 people and it's free to sell on Eventbrite for up to 25 people as of the date of this episode. People then go on, you can share it on your social media using that wonderful mobile phone as your tool, your weaponized tool for wealth. Remember, go back in the previous episodes if you haven't seen it before. And what you're able to do, go on Eventbrite, set up your session, say, on Saturday, the X of Y, we're going to have this walking tour. We're going to talk to you about what's going on in the area. We're going to do a little wine tasting because there's something going on. And you're going to get to see beautiful panoramic views of the landscape. Watch how many people plug into that. Because when tourists come to the country that you operate in, they don't know the things that you're taking for granted. I know, for example, in Wirral, a fella called John Laird, Camelaird Shipbuilding. Camelaird Shipbuilding at one time was an internationally renowned shipbuilders all over the world. Unfortunately, it was shit-canned by the Tories back in the 70s and 80s, and it started growing back now. But back then, it sort of just went obsolete because they stopped giving contracts to them. But there are still people that want to see Camelairds because they say, oh, I was an apprentice here in the 40s. I was an apprentice here in the 60s. And they want to come back and show their family where they worked. Or this is a ship that I've been on and it was made here. There's the first steam engines. There's the first grade 2 listed square outside of London. There's the view of the Liverpool port sides and so on and so forth. There's all kinds of stuff. I can just open up my door and go and see this any day of the week. But if you're coming from Japan, you can't. If you're coming from Germany, you can't. If you're coming from Canada, the United States and Australia, you can't. Why do I notice those particular countries? Because a lot of people emigrated from the port of Liverpool and they went all over the world from Liverpool. So they've got these deep historic roots to Liverpool. So this is why I mention all of these things, because they say, oh, I was from there. A lady contacted me the other day because she got in touch with one of those DNA testing kits. She lives in Australia and she said, we're second cousins. I'd love to keep in touch. I'm planning a visit to Birkenhead. Can you show me around? And of course I said, yes, no problem. But my point is that there are people all over the world who want to come and see your area where you live that you might not even realize until you put it on Eventbrite, start promoting it on social media, start offering it as a tourist guide, start at 15 quid, 25 tickets. You could offer 3 tours a day for that price. You just don't know until you try. How difficult is this to set up? Takes me about 25 minutes. 25 minutes to set up a brand new revenue stream on Eventbrite with a mobile phone and connecting a bank account. So use your time effectively. Get yourselves into this sort of thing because do you know what? Your expertise, you don't even realize you've got it most of the time, but people will pay for your local knowledge. And we're going to cover this in a little bit more detail in a slightly different way shortly on the next episode. So as always, thanks very much for tuning in and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.